The movie starts with the protagonist, Rex, a man who finds himself in an ordinary situation, waiting in line at a bank. He's engaging in a conversation with Maddie, the cashier, who he seems to have a romantic interest in. Their routine day takes a dramatic turn when the bank is suddenly attacked by a bunch of robbers. Amidst the chaos, Rex notices a gun in a nearby woman's bag, but the woman was unable to act, understandably frozen by fear in the very risky situation. In a twist of fate, her bag containing the gun is flung through the air and lands right in Rex's lap. The movie then cuts to a courtroom scene where the narrative takes an unexpected turn. Despite his intentions to stop the robbery, Rex finds himself on trial. He's accused of not only killing all the robbers, but also accidentally causing the death of one of the bank employees during the incident. The judge then sentences him to 8 years in prison, a decision that starkly contrasts with his initial heroic act. Fast forward 8 years, and Rex is released from prison. He's depicted starring at a magazine featuring his own face on the cover. Despite the years that have passed, the magazine portrays him as a hero for his actions during the bank robbery. But Rex's newfound freedom is plagued by constant public attention and media scrutiny. This unwanted fame makes him feel deeply uncomfortable, to the point where he visualizes a physical manifestation of his alter ego. This alter ego represents a more emotional and expressive side of himself, contrasting with his real-life stoicism. Rex's struggle with his public image and internal conflict reaches a boiling point, and in a moment of intense frustration, he imagines himself standing up and throwing his desk at the reporters and onlookers. But, in reality, this dramatic scene is just a figment of his imagination, a symbolic expression of his desire to break free from the weight of his past actions and the public's perception of him.
Wait, hold on. Did you subscribe to our channel? Come on guys, you're here, you're watching the video. Help us out by hitting the subscribe button, as it really helps out me and my team to make more videos for you guys. And now, let's get back to the recap.
And soon, he reaches a breaking point in his life, and he confides in his friend that he can no longer bear the constant attention and lack of normalcy in his life since his act of heroism 8 years ago. The public's fascination with him has become overwhelming, and in search of escape and a fresh start, he decides to leave his city. His unusual choice of destination, Finland, is inspired by a random event during his time in prison. He shot a spitball on a map, and it landed on Finland. Arriving at the airport to embark on his new journey, Rex finds himself, as usual, the subject of unwanted attention with a man filming him. He also notices a husband and wife who seem to be observing him closely, and upon his arrival in Finland, while waiting for a taxi, he notices a driver watching him from a distance. Unbeknownst to Rex, the taxi ride will change the course of his life dramatically. Once inside the taxi, the driver releases anesthetic gas, causing Rex to lose consciousness. And when he wakes up, he finds himself in a horrifying situation. He has been kidnapped and is now in the basement of a house which belongs to a family with sinister intentions. This family plans to use him to feed their cannibalistic child, and in a shocking realization, Rex discovers that one of his legs has been amputated while he was unconscious. During this horrible time, Rex's conscience materializes, advising him to remain silent to avoid further danger. This internal voice helps him piece together the events leading to his current situation, and he concludes that the strange couple that he noticed at the airport are responsible for his kidnapping. His inner conscience, serving as a voice of reason and survival instinct, springs into action, devising escape plans. Rex's conscience advises him to feign unconsciousness should any of the family members appear in order to catch them off guard. Meanwhile, the family responsible for his abduction is asleep upstairs, except for the youngest child, who's intrigued by their new captive Rex, who is still bound by the ropes, frantically attempting to untie himself using his teeth. The young boy, driven by curiosity, makes his way down into the basement to see Rex. Rex's efforts to free himself prove unsuccessful, as the ropes were too thick. When he hears the boy entering the room, he quickly pretends to be unconscious, and upon realizing that it's just a child who had come down, Rex formulates a new plan to use the boy as leverage to ensure his escape. In a desperate move, Rex attacks the boy, kicking him with his amputated leg and restraining him with his thighs. He plans to negotiate with the boy's family for his release, but the situation grows even more complicated when Aaliyah, the boy's sister, comes down to the basement after noticing her brother was missing from his bed. Rex, now holding the boy hostage, threatens to break his neck if Aaliyah tries to harm him. But in a moment of intense panic and concern for his own safety, Rex accidentally releases the boy. Soon the situation in the basement takes an unexpected turn when the young boy is found unconscious, and the family, in a state of panic, rushes him to the hospital. Amid the chaos, the mother, mistakenly believing Aaliyah to be responsible for the boy's condition, ends up slapping her. However, Aaliyah's reaction to the situation was surprising as she smiles, revealing her attraction to Rex, whom she imagines marrying. With the rest of her family at the hospital, Aaliyah seizes the opportunity to tend to Rex's leg wound, and during this time she opens up to Rex, confessing her feelings for him, and she then shares the dark history of her family. They began kidnapping people to satiate the cannibalistic appetite of her eldest brother, a practice that she's always been opposed to. Aaliyah recounts her numerous attempts to escape her family's twisted lifestyle, only to be found and punished each time, once even being confined in a wooden cage. Moved by Rex's innocence, Aaliyah leaves a knife on the floor near him before departing. She then instructs him to use it to free himself. However, when Rex finally managed to grab the knife and began cutting through his restraints, Aaliyah's brother unexpectedly returns. Quick thinking, Rex feigns unconsciousness to avoid suspicion. The brothers notice Rex's band-aided leg and immediately start searching for Aaliyah. She was apparently hiding in the basement, and they soon find her and take her upstairs, leaving Rex alone once more. In a sudden turn of events, Rex is then injected with a substance that renders him unconscious. The moment adds another layer of uncertainty to Rex's already dire situation, as he's left incapacitated and at the mercy of his captors. The narrative then takes a step back in time to 8 years prior, providing us with a detailed account of the bank robbery incident involving Rex. This flashback reveals how Rex took on the robbers with a ferocity that was guided by his own conscience, and in this adrenaline-fueled confrontation, his actions were a mix of self-defense and brutal force, ultimately earning him the label of the hero in the eyes of the bank's patrons. During the chaotic situation, Rex tries to rescue Maddie, the woman that he had feelings for. One of the robbers, stuck by Rex's seemingly reckless disregard for life, releases Maddie, but driven by his ego and intense situation, Rex shoots the robber. In a tragic twist of fate, the robber's gun goes off as he falls, firing a bullet into the cupboard where the bank employee was hiding. This accidental shot results in the employee's death, leading to Rex's imprisonment for 8 years. His incarceration is seen as a consequence of his actions, which, while heroic, are perceived as having been too extreme, costing innocent lives. Additionally, the flashback reveals that Maddie, saved by Rex during the robbery, ultimately decides to end their relationship. She was unwilling to wait 8 years for his release, leaving Rex to face his prison sentence and its aftermath alone. The film then returns to the present, where Rex regains consciousness in the basement of the family that kidnapped him, and in a shocking realization, he discovers that his leg is being amputated at that very moment. In a desperate attempt to defend himself, he kicks the attacker, prompting them to rush off in search of an anesthetic. Rex, determined to escape his captors, takes advantage of the chaos ensuing in the house, and he uses the knife given to him by Aaliyah to cut the ropes binding his hands. As the man who had been amputating his leg returns to the basement, Rex acts quickly and decisively, stabbing the knife deep into the man's ear in a desperate act of self-defense. Realizing he needs to arm himself to stand any chance of escaping, he frantically searches for any tools or weapons that he can find. He stumbles upon a tool that proves to be crucial for his escape, and with ingenuity and determination, he attaches a golf ball to his amputated leg, using it as some kind of makeshift support to help him move. Once he successfully emerges from the basement, his conscience urges him to also rescue Aaliyah from the house, and hearing the internal advice, Rex cautiously exits the house, contemplating his next move. Meanwhile, the parents return home from the hospital and are horrified to find bloodstains at the entrance of their house. They quickly gather their children, criticizing them for allowing Rex to escape, and the family, now fearing that Rex might return with the police, hastily begins to plan their departure from the house. However, unbeknownst to them, Rex has not fled far. He was hiding under a table, waiting for the right moment to strike. In a dramatic turn of events, Rex confronts the family members one by one, using a nail gun as his weapon. He takes down each of them in a tense sequence, turning the tables on his captors. The plot thus continues its intense and gripping narrative, with Rex transforming from a victim to a vengeful survivor. In a climatic moment of this intense movie, Rex then finds himself in a very fierce confrontation with the family that kidnapped him. As he tries to use the nail gun against the mother, he realizes that he'd run out of nails. In a desperate move, he resorts to using the golf club attached to his amputated leg, striking her in the head with a forceful kick. The violent scene is then witnessed by her son, who, in a fit of rage, lunges at Rex. However, Rex's survival instincts kick in, and he quickly throws a knife, fatally wounding the son. The intensity of the situation escalates further when Aaliyah, in a shocking turn of events, kills her own mother, who had just regained consciousness from the earlier chaos. The final showdown of the story occurs when Aaliyah's other brother, a large intimidating figure, descends the stairs appearing monstrous in his manner. Rex faces off against this cannibalistic brother in a brutal fight, and in a moment of desperation, he clings to the refrigerator door for support, only to discover a piece of his own amputated leg inside. Seizing the opportunity, he uses his amputated leg as a weapon, thrusting it into the cannibal's mouth and eventually killing him. With the nightmare now finally over, Rex decides to take Aaliyah back to his home country, where they plan to start a new life together. However, the movie leaves us with a very chilling ending. The youngest child of Aaliyah's family, having recovered from his injury, is shown harboring intentions of avenging his family's death, and hence, the movie draws to a close with this open-ended scene, suggesting a potential continuation of the cycle of violence and brutality. I hope you guys enjoyed the recap. Make sure to leave me a like, leave a comment, also subscribe to my channel. I love you guys so much, and I promise to see you on my next recap. Bye!